Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
From Ramsey Network, you're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw, joined by your other host, Dr. John Deloney. We're taking calls for the next couple hours about your life and your money, so give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225, and we will get into it. We'll get knee-deep in all the things that you're going on and what's going on in your world. So give us a call. Let's go straight to these phone lines, John. We got Alex, who's in Boulder, Colorado. What's going on, Alex?
Hi. I am in a bit of trouble, actually.
Okay.
So I guess I don't want to even start. So I guess in the last year, I've been building up some debt, kind of hiding it from my family, and it all recently came out, and pretty much is tearing apart my family at this point. So
how much debt, man?
About $50,000.
Are you?
And it's all credit card.
What are you buying?
So that's the worst part is not really buying anything. It's actually streaming. So I used to play video games a lot. I'm actually in the military, so I used to play video games as a way to kind of cope. And basically, I got into streaming and watching other streamers play video gaming, and kind of help pass the time, and especially when I'm at work. And I kind of got into the whole gifting subscriptions. Couldn't really control it. I can say I've never been addicted to anything ever in my life, but
you
this
can't.
has got to be the closest thing.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, you're right. I can't say that. Yeah, I guess
the definition of addiction is a pattern of behavior that continues after the person knows that it is hurting me, and I continue to do it anyway. Can I tell you, Alex? And this is me just being straight up with you. I don't know if I fully believe you. What else were you spending? $50,000. I only see that in extreme, like you suddenly have somebody else that you're courting, or you're struggling with drugs, you're struggling with gambling.
It honestly, I know it sounds crazy, but that literally is it. It was.
You're just sitting there watching Twitch, and you're just gifting thousands of dollars away to people.
Yes. I got so into the hype. You drop that $500, 100 subs, everybody goes crazy, and they hype you up, and I got so into it. I don't know, it just kept happening. I just kept doing it, and I wasn't keeping track. I wasn't paying attention. As soon as one credit card max, go straight to another one.
Over what course of time? How long did it take you to acquire this debt?
It was over a year.
Bro, I'm having a hard time with it.
Same.
I'm having a hard time with it. Like, so are you married?
I am. I'm married. I have kids, and that was the hardest part. Was once I realized how bad it was, and I disconnected
Dude, you would know, man. Alex, you would know. Like, maybe if you're sitting there trying to explain this to your wife or something, she'll buy this. But you had to actually go open new credit cards.
I did.
So you didn't just open your eyes and there was $50,000 when.
Well, no. So the credit cards were old ones that we had zero balance on, that we had used from years prior when. During COVID, we were using, my wife wasn't able to work, so it was just my income that was supporting us. And mortgage rates in Colorado are not very good at all, and they haven't been for a long time. And we just basically were using credit cards to kind of survive. Once we came out of that, and she was able to start working, we were able to pay them down. We even refinanced the house at one point to be able to get some money back to.
So you're making. Let me ask a little bit of a more tactical question. You've got $50,000 in credit cards. You've got to make minimum payments.
Yes.
Is that what raised the flag to her? How did she not notice? Hey, there's hundreds of dollars going out every month in minimum payments. I'm guessing you guys keep the money separate, so she couldn't see that.
Well, so I actually went and opened up a checking account on the side, so that way I could have some of my paycheck.
Right, but she's still seeing
allotment
hundreds of
go into
your.
that.
She's still seeing, hey, hundreds. There's a lot less money coming in than there used to be, and that didn't raise any red flags for her. I'm just trying to understand the landscape of your marriage.
All I can say is that we were never really good with finances when it comes to keeping track. As long as we knew we had money to do things and pay things, we weren't really paying attention as much as, like, I never really cared what she was spending money. She never really cared what I was spending money on. And it didn't get to that. Like I said, she didn't realize.
So like $500 or $800 could be gone and her not even notice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, Jaden and I make a lot of money, and I'm telling you right
I'm
now.
like a bird dog. I know if money's missing. Sheesh.
All right, so how can we help, man?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at this point, I mean, the basic thing is I'm just terrible with money, obviously, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
But that's not the problem. That's not the problem, bro. Like, you're living in an altered reality. Like, you have to go get beneath that. Like, if we take you at your word, which I'm telling you right now, I've just been doing this for too long, I'm struggling with it. If I take you at your word, and when MasterCard said, I can't let you have any more money, and then you went and opened up another account to keep paying that bill, and this isn't just, oh my gosh, I was just clicking on something, and suddenly I was $50,000 in the hole. You knew step by step by step along the way, I'm going to keep going down. And if I take you at your word, something about watching other people play video games and you giving them $500 at a time brought you more life, made you feel more alive than your own home, than your own life that you're creating here. That's what you have to deal with. Because that's a case of, you are living this quiet life of desperation, and these little, I can't even wrap my head around this. And like, dude, my whole career has been sitting with people who've made some wild choices, and I've never heard this. Not $50,000. I've seen 5,000. I've seen like 10,000. I've never seen $50,000. The second thing is then you're a guy that doesn't tell his wife the truth. The third thing is you're a guy that put his kids financially at risk. Those are the things we need to deal with.
Alex, are you telling us that you're done? Like, you've called in to talk about the money aspect of this. So that makes me think, okay, he thinks he's finished with this behavior. What is causing you to think that you're finished with this behavior is what I want to know. Otherwise, what I tell you is not going to matter at all.
So, I mean, we've started doing family counseling, marriage counseling. I've deleted all my accounts. I've given my wife access to every single thing that I have.
Okay.
Did you give her the receipts?
Yes, I gave her access to every single bank account so she can look at the history, see every single transaction.
Okay. All right. Good for you.
I mean, we've been married for 17 years, and I love my wife more than anything. She's my best friend, and I honestly have no idea why I got into it. I think that's part of the counseling that we're going through. I'm trying to understand.
Good for you. So I'm proud of you.
I just know that I don't want to lose that.
Okay. I'm proud of you on that, man. You're going to have to work through the money side of it, and you're going to have to follow the baby steps and pay it off. Hang on the line. We'll send you a copy of Total Money Makeover and help you on your journey. Best of luck to you, brother.
You know, it doesn't take a degree in statistics to realize that this one stinks. 93% of undergraduate private student loans are co-signed. So when you're delinquent and drowning in private student loan debt, mom or dad or Uncle Joe is stuck in that financial stress along with you. But there is a way out. Why Refi? Why Refi offers a custom refinancing option with a fixed rate loan based on your ability to pay. And the average interest rate Why Refi offers is 3.9%, which can significantly reduce your monthly payment and decrease your total cost. Why Refi refinances your defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And I trust them to help you get out of debt. So don't be another statistic. In the student student loan swamp. Contact YRefi at 844-2RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. That's 844-2RAMSEY or the letter Y, then REFY.com/Ramsey.
This is The Ramsey Show from Ramsey Network. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is Dr. John Deloney, best-selling #1 author of Building a Non-Anxious Life. Love it.
Hey, Jade, last night was the first debate. We'd like to go ahead and give our thoughts on the debate. All right, let's go out to Newark, New Jersey, and talk to Christian. God help us all.
What's going on, Christian?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
So for about a year, me and my wife were planning on getting a $200,000 addition, but the numbers don't make sense. So I want to sell the house, go live with my parents, and buy a $900,000 house, our dream home. And she's not really on board with it.
Okay,
That's a lot of swings, man.
Yeah, let me run this back. So you were wanting to make a $200,000 addition to the house.
Yes.
Okay, and
what's the addition?
Yeah.
A 2-car garage with about 550 square feet above it, which is 2 bedrooms and a master bath.
Okay, and if you did that, would it make that house worth $900,000?
So my dilemma is our mortgage is $2,400.
Wait a minute. Just answer me that question right quick. Because then the other plan was that you were going to go buy a $900,000 house. That's why I'm trying to understand.
Right now, we could sell our house for $700,000.
Okay, so if you did the addition, you're hoping that you putting that money in, you would at least make it.
I don't think it would be worth $900,000. I think it would possibly be $800,000 or less.
Oh, okay. Because
of the comps.
Okay.
So the addition would suddenly make it beyond the nicest house in its area.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Got it. Okay. So now tell us more. My screen says that your wife doesn't agree with this.
No. So if we put $100,000 of our own money and $100,000 HELOC, that brings our mortgage from $2,400 to $3,600, and if they raise our taxes, that would put us close to $4,000 a month, and I'm not comfortable with that.
What percentage of your take-home income is that?
We take home around $10,000 a month.
Okay. So there's a lot wrong with this initial plan A. I don't like you borrowing against your home to do upgrades because you're putting your own home on the line in order to do that. Why is there this urgency to do all of this? Why is there an urgency to do a HELOC? And if you don't do that, then we've got to move and buy a $900,000 house. Why is there this sense of we've got to do something?
Well, we have 3 kids, 6, 8, and 10, and the boys share a room. So we want something bigger. We have a big eating kitchen with no dining room. So we want a dining room, be able to host family, host events, and the clock is ticking. We want our dream home, and I feel if we sell our home, we'd be in a position to buy a beautiful home in half an acre, cul-de-sac, extra bedrooms.
But, bro, what do you think the payment on a $900,000 house is going to be?
Right, with today's rates.
Well, it would be less than getting an addition, because if we sell the house after realtor fee, we would take home a little over $450,000.
Okay, so you put half down on it?
No, we would put about 60 to 70% down on it.
How?
Oh, you've got 100 cash, too?
Oh, you've got the 100 cash.
No,
okay.
We have close to 300, but I wouldn't.
So how much in all are you putting down between cash and equity?
Oh, on the addition?
No. If you do what you say you do, which is you sell your current home, you take that equity, you put it towards a down payment, and you put other cash that you have sitting around towards a down payment on a $900,000 house. How much cash is that you plan on putting down?
I would want to put down 600, 650 tops.
Okay, 650 tops. And that gets you where you want to be. What we would teach is the payment all in, HOAs, everything, taxes, insurance is no more than 25% of your take-home pay. So that gets you there.
That gets me to 3,300.
Okay, so tell me where your wife is at in all of this.
So that we don't have to have the headache of waiting for a buyer and then selling and all that, and finding a home and then selling. I would rather just wipe our hands clean, sell the house, move in with my parents that are a mile away, and take our time 6 to 9 months and find our dream home. Take that $600,000, put in a 6-month CD at 5.5% interest.
Does she like your parents?
Yeah. Well, originally when we renovated the first floor during COVID, we stayed there for 4 months.
How old are you guys?
35 and 37.
Ooh, with 3 kids? So a family of 5 going in? Ooh.
I don't know any wife in America that would want to take 3 kids and their husband and move back in with their in-laws. Like what's I don't understand the urgency.
Me neither.
You seem like you got to panic. Here's the deal. I shared a room with my brother my entire childhood until my sister went to college. And was it great? Nope. Did I hate it? Yep. Did we all live? Yep. Like, would it be cool to have a dining room? Absolutely. Do you have to have one? No. Like, I don't understand what this, like, you've got something like on fire inside of you. What is it, man? Enough to sell your home and move with your parents?
I don't know what's going to happen before the election or during the election. So
now we're talking, homie. Listen, I've been there. I've been an anxious lunatic mess. I sold my house and moved my family into a residence hall, a dorm. I've been there. You got to take a breath and don't do the next wild thing. You're trying. Brene Brown calls it dress rehearsing tragedy. You've already created this new tax hike that's going to happen, and you've already figured out how you're not going to be able to pay for it. You've already figured out this other bad thing that's going to happen, and you're trying to solve it now. And you're thinking about that, man. Your family needs a stable presence right now. They don't need running around and selling this and moving this and going into my mom and dad's house. I've been where you are, and I've been so scared, and I walk around when my family's asleep not knowing what's coming. I've been there, man. You got to go talk to somebody. I'm telling you. You're going to end up making a huge mistake. Either relationally, either financially, or both.
So what do you suggest? Just wait? I didn't realize the addition is around $300 a square foot for, like, top of the line.
I don't want you borrowing money for anything. If this is a home that y'all love,
we have about $250 to $300 in our savings or stock portfolio. You suggest we just pay it outright instead of taking a HELOC?
I would never put my family's house on the block for a living room, ever, or for a garage.
Well, we already have a garage with a sunroom attached to it. So
here's the thing.
It's not about that.
Here's the thing. My take on this is I don't want you making this decision until a couple of things are a little bit more in focus. Number one, you and your wife have to be on the same page, and it doesn't sound like you are. It sounds like this is kind of one of your crazy things, and she's like, dude, cool out. We're fine. That's what it sounds like from what you've said. Number two, I'm with John. If you guys do get on the same page and you decide you want to move on, yes, do it all in cash. Whether you decide to add an addition to your existing home, whether you decide to move forward, the keys here are we're using cash. And if we're doing the down payment deal, we're putting all the equity on the down payment because ultimately we want this house paid off. And I don't want that payment to be any more than 25% like I talked about before. So those things need to get cleared up. Right now, based off what John asked you, based off of what you said, it feels like you're running away from something, and a house should be something that you run towards and you're happy about and you both want to do it. And it's not like this thing that you do out of panic or fear. It's a thing that you do out of this is the next right step for our family, and you can take your time and think things through, and there's choices. And right now, it just feels like somebody pulled the fire alarm and he's like, where do we go? The election.
And Christian, listen, I've been there, and here's the worst part. You go with you. Whatever you sell, whatever you buy, you go with you. So tonight after dinner, I want you to hold your wife's hand and say, I've never said this out loud, honey, but I'm scared. And I'm going to go talk to somebody before I just take the whole family on another adventure. She will probably breathe and sleep deeper than she has in months. Your move, my brother. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is Dr. John Deloney. John, did you watch the debate last night?
I actually did not. I was on that text thread with you and Rachel Cruz and others, and then I got caught up this morning. But I think it's important to have this conversation based on this last caller.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody. The whole building is buzzing. We have 1,000 people that work here. It's buzzing. My phone was blowing up all evening, all morning.
I stayed up till midnight.
Yeah. And I did watch some of the after stuff. If anybody is watched that last night and is at peace, you should probably go see somebody, right? I don't know somebody who's not, their heart's not beating a little bit faster.
Yeah, like completely unbothered.
What is happening? And my please, if you've ever been at the slightest bit convinced that the person in the White House is going to save you.
Oh, now we know.
I think we all got our answer. And so what that means is we have to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And say, okay, as for me at my house, what's this going to look like?
Yeah.
And the worst thing you can do is, as my great mentor, Dr. Andy Young, used to say, facts are your friends, man, when you're heading into a crisis.
Yeah.
What is true here? What is true here is maybe in your house, we go out way too much and we've got to start putting some money aside.
Yeah.
Maybe in your house, all right, we're about to buy a fancy car. We're not buying that car. Maybe as for you in your house, we got to pay it's time for us to take control of our money.
Yeah.
And it's time.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you already know who you're going to vote for, turn the news off. Turn it off.
John,
Turn it off.
that's the word
if
right
you already
there.
know, don't just baste in this.
No, don't
madness.
baste in it.
But here's the deal. As for me and my house, that's where we are. And we've been saying that. Dave's been saying that for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's the person in your house that's going to make the most difference. So my hope is that people start meeting their neighbors and they start asking each other, like, hey, man, how can we figure this thing out? And let's go from there.
Yeah.
Let's go from there.
I have zero to add to that because it's exactly right, and I would be beating a dead horse by
Beat
adding.
it. Nay, beat it.
Well, I mean, it's true. You know, I probably fed into it a little bit too much last night. I stayed up late, and you're right, John. The one takeaway is I just got to do what I got to do. Like, I got to do what I have to do for my family, and the changes that, I mean, it sounds trite, but it's true. Like, the change that you want to see, you have to start doing those things in your own home.
Yeah.
If you want taxes to go down, which means you get more money in your pocket, then that means you've got to do the things in your own budget to get more money back in your pocket. If you want, there to be more jobs, then you need to start applying for more jobs. It's like, do more and do those things and try not to let... It's like, yeah, there's just things you control the controllables.
There you go.
There's things that you can control and there's things that you can't control. And,
And if you need to make your phone calls and send your emails, send them. Make your phone calls.
And
get on the horn. Can
I just say this? Like, I'm going to get off my soapbox after this. If there was ever a time, pray for your leaders. Pray for the people who have leadership over you. That's the best thing you can do. And all the energy that you want to put into commenting on social and, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Da, da, da. Like, if you're that person, like, spend some of your time praying for our leaders and pray for our country. Pray for yourself. Pray for your own, like, interaction and reaction to all this stuff, because everybody who's listening to this is not a Christian person. I am. So just filter it through this is what Jade thinks. Like, we're thermostats in this world, and we have the ability to set the temperature by the way we react and the things that we say and how we handle the things that might cause other people to like do that. And so, like, let's do that. Like, let's be thermostats and let's set the temperature at a nice, comfortable 68. 68, is that good?
A buddy of mine was texting last night. He's a pastor. He's a great friend. And he just said, I'm praying for our country. And I just wrote back, pray louder, pray louder. And then after a while, I was following along with the debate. And I said, I don't think you've got the right number. And he said, I keep getting a return to my prayer. New phone, who dis? It was awesome. But yeah.
That's great. New phone, who dis? Wow. Okay. But yeah, just so you know, like, we know what's going on, but we are not going to. I know some of y'all are like, get into it, guys.
Nope.
Get into it. We won't. We shan't.
As for me and my house, we shan't. Let's go out to Portland and talk to Jessica. What up, Jessica?
Hi, John. Hi, Jade. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. You are my heroes.
Oh, we're happy to talk to you too. We're glad you're here.
That's a low bar, Jessica. At least
Speak
watch
for
the Marvel
yourself,
movies
John.
or something.
All the time. No, thank you so much.
What's up?
But I'm hoping that you can help me with a huge mess. My husband and I are on baby step 6. And we've kind of landed into this big financial mess, not of our own choosing. My husband's dad and his wife are at the end stage of their life. My husband's dad is on hospice care right now, and he's got maybe a couple of weeks left. And his wife is borderline dementia, and she doesn't really have the ability to hold it together enough to keep track of their finances. So it's something that my husband and I have taken over for them just in the last couple of weeks. And what we found out is super scary. They have about $70,000 worth of debt and only $18,000 saved. And their monthly income was almost $7,000 with him alive. But then when he passes, it's probably going to drop down to around $3,000 a month. And that's all that they have, all that she has, to kind of keep things running for the rest of her life. And part of that $70,000 is an RV trailer that he just bought last year, and he owes $53,000 on it. But it's only worth, we went to look to see what we could sell it for, and we think we can maybe sell it for $35,000, maybe $40,000 if we're lucky.
Okay.
And what we're wondering is, because it needs a repair also, it's broke, so it needs about $4,000 worth of repairs just to get it sellable.
To be worth $35,000.
And we just wonder, to be worth $35,000. And his name is the only name that's on it. His wife's name is not on the RV. And we're wondering if we can let it go back to the creditors.
No.
Or if we should.
No, don't do that.
To pay it off.
No, don't do a voluntary repo. That's going to be horrible. I wouldn't do that. They've got $18,000 saved, assuming that you have control over this money. I would just take that $18,000 and bridge the gap and get rid of it. Zero it out. And then that puts them at, what, $22,000 in debt?
Yes. The other 22 is a car that they owe 10 on. And what is the rest of it? There's a trailer.
How much is the trailer?
The trailer's only $3,000, and we already have it sold. So as soon as we get the money for that, that'll be paid off.
So it's just the car, yeah.
And is there any life insurance here when he passes?
Yeah.
There might be about $30,000, but I'm worried that they're not going to pay because it's a non-smoking policy, and he only stopped smoking a year ago. So I don't understand. I don't know if they're going to say, well, he only stopped smoking a year ago, so now we're not going to pay. I don't know how that works.
You'll have to get with somebody to find out the clarity on that. But I think that you can clear out a lot of the just craziness of this by selling Like you said, you sold the trailer already. Do the same thing with this RV. If you need to close the gap, use that $18,000 that they have saved, or at least keep $1,000 of it, but use the $17,000 to do that. And then the $3,000 a month. Okay, so tell me about the mother-in-law. Tell me, I hate to ask these questions, but like timeline, like what's the situation if she ends up, being alone? Is she coming to live with you guys? Is she going into a care facility?
She's not a good patient. She would make a terrible patient in a care facility or a hospital. She really actually doesn't want to live. After he dies, I feel like she's going to deteriorate very quickly.
So she's going to have to come stay with you guys.
Well, she's a smoker, and we don't want her to smoke in our house.
Well, then you might end up putting her in an apartment where she's got a care nurse or something like that. Whatever it is, my point is that judging by the numbers, you guys are going to be on the hook for figuring out the best way to do this. And I want to make sure that you guys get the power attorney that you need ahead of time, so that when the time comes, you can make the call. Like if we're selling their house, we're selling that house so that we can provide care for her.
They have no house. They have no assets whatsoever.
Okay.
Are there siblings involved?
No, we're the only ones.
Okay. Then you guys are definitely going to be the ones that are making these calls, and just know financially, put yourself in the best situation that you can, because where these numbers fall might leave you guys on the hook to be shelling out a little bit of cash, unfortunately. But you're on top of it. This is The Ramsey Show.
You've been gazelle intense, you've eaten more beans and rice than you knew existed, and now you're ready to make your biggest investment better. Blinds.com is a great way to dress up a room or your entire home. Whether you're comfortable with do-it-yourself projects or you don't even know what a Phillips head screwdriver is, well, trust Blinds.com to take care of you like Ramsey would. You can do the measuring and installation yourself, or you can let Blinds.com's professionals handle everything for you. Blinds.com offers a completely hassle-free experience. Count on them to deliver stylish window treatments from premium brands without the premium markup. You'll never have to deal with pushy salespeople in your home just to get a quote. But you can count on free shipping, free samples, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee so that you can rest easy. That's why we've recommended Blinds.com for over 10 years. Get 50% off site-wide for a limited time at Blinds.com. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is Dr. John Deloney. And if you haven't, guys, I want you to check out our Ramsey Trusted Pros. If you're talking about buying a house, if you're talking about selling a house, our Ramsey Trusted Pros shop the market and compare insurance quotes so that you don't have to. So your pro will compare quotes, discounts, and bundling deals for you at no extra cost. Ramsey Trusted Pros will make sure that you have all the coverage that you need and nothing that you don't. Ramsey Trusted Pros are interviewed, vetted, and coached to make sure they're market experts who have your best interest at heart. So you want to make sure that you have the best coverage. That's what you need to do. Before I said buying and selling a house, it goes to show what I was talking about. I'm talking about insurance here, people, not buying and selling.
You got to have insurance for houses too, man.
I mean, you do, but what I'm talking about here is if you're trying to get insurance for all the things that we say that you need insurance for, which is, for your home, obviously, for your auto, life insurance,
last call,
renter's insurance, even identity theft insurance is a big one. What else? There's a lot. Umbrella insurance.
On that last call, like you've got a husband who's passing away.
Yeah. Ooh, life insurance.
And then you have a kid saying, how am I going to take care of mom?
Yeah.
She's not doing well. And there's $30,000 that may be a fraudulent policy.
Yeah. And let's talk about that. Because
not helpful, guys.
talk about that, John, because so many people, I cannot tell you how many times I say, do you have life insurance? And they go, oh yeah, I have it through my work.
No.
That is not, like, you're doing good if you get $25,000.
That's a high five policy. That's enough to get you through the funeral.
Yes, that's
not
it.
Not to pay a bill.
That's it. And we're talking about 10 to 12 times your income. The whole purpose of insurance is to mitigate risk. It's to cover the things that you can't afford to pay for. And one of those things when it comes to life insurance is, who are the people that are dependent on your income? In this case, the wife with dementia would have been extremely dependent on his income. So if he passes away, which we know, over time, then she needs that money. And so we say 10 to 12 times what you were making in a year. That's what you need for the people who depend on your income. So when it comes to insurance, term life, you need it, guys. You need it. And if you're like, Jade, all of this is so overwhelming for me, I used to be that person, we will do this for you. Again, if you don't have the right coverage, if you're not sure how to find it, if you go to RamseySolutions.com/coverage, we'll make sure that you have everything that you need. And by the way, let me just throw this in because it's important to note, it's not a baby step. Okay? So for all the folks listening, because I know we have a lot of people who are in baby step 1, baby step 2, this is not you going, well, when I'm out of debt, I'll do that. No, you do it as soon as you find out about it. And I get it. You're like, Jade, that's the last thing I want to spend money on. Don't you know I have bills? Yes, I do. But you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
But I do know this. I've sat with multiple women whose husbands are dead in the next room. And they look at me and they have said these almost identical words. I don't know what I'm going to do next.
Yeah.
And my conversation shifts from how do we grieve and who do we call to we're going to have to help you get a job on Monday.
Yeah.
Don't put your spouses in that position.
Even a car accident.
Right.
Because you don't have the right coverage.
Man.
And you hit somebody and then they hit somebody.
That's just hollow in me, dude.
Bro.
I remember those.
Whew. It's a lot, but we're here for you. Like, we're here for you. We will take the hard part out of it. Again, RamseySolutions.com/coverage. Let us do that for you. All right. Whew. Let's go to Jaden, who's in Denver, Colorado. What's going on, Jaden?
Hi there. Yeah, so I'm 20 years old. I make about $40,000 a year, and I have 3 kids at home. I'm $22,000 in debt.
Jaden?
Figure out how to.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you broke out for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, I'm 20 years old, have 3 kids at home. I make about $40,000 a year, and I'm $22,000 in debt.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out just how to pay off this debt and kind of just set an example for my kids so they can kind of do the same thing that I did.
Is it just you raising the kids, or do you have a wife?
So I have a wife, yeah.
Is she working, or is she at home with the kids?
She's at home with the kids. She was working right before she had the baby, and then the company, they had sold to another company and let her go.
Okay. So she chose to stay home by default, not because that was the plan. It was
right.
like as a reaction.
Right. And I mean, childcare out here is just extremely expensive. So that's another factor of it too.
What do you do for a living, man?
I work in asphalt.
Okay. What are the ways you can get this income up? You got 3 kids. You're in Denver, Colorado. There's just no way you can support a family on that, man. And you know that.
Yeah. I know. We've been, just nickel and diming it. Right now, I have applied for other jobs. I'm trying to get HVAC certified and become a plumber and electrician.
Okay, great.
Are you actively in a program?
No, not yet. I have about a week into after applying. So
okay.
I applied about last week.
What will it cost? What does that cost?
So if I go through the company that I applied through, they pay for the schooling, and I just have to sign an 18-month contract with them.
Okay. And
Excellent.
What will you make? What will that? How will that change your income?
Coming out of school, the foreman let me know that they had a guy coming out of school at $38 an hour.
Okay. And you'll be able to work full time at 40 hours. Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, I'm making about $22 an hour, working 60 hours a week.
Okay. Okay, so that's going to be a nice jump for you. How old are the kids?
So I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 3-month-year-old.
Ooh, lordy. Okay, yeah, you're in the thick of it. So the 5-year-old's going to be going to kindergarten soon, yeah? That'll help.
Yeah.
Help your wife out. And what was she doing before this? What was she earning? Does she have a degree? Tell me more about her.
No, so she was doing housekeeping at a local hospital.
Okay, what was she earning?
She was getting about $35 a year.
Okay. So there was a life where you guys were making, you know, almost $80,000 a year, and now you're down to $40,000. Is there a situation where you can make this work with childcare?
As of right now, no. Like I've tried, cause I got sisters and brothers all around, and kind of like reached out to them about, you know, maybe paying them to watch my kids, and it's not happening. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So
even like a part-time, I just want to make sure you guys are attacking this from every angle, even like a mom's day out where she can work part-time, something where she can bring in, I mean, even $800 a month would change you guys' world right now.
Or she gets a job at a daycare center.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I really haven't thought about that.
The other alternative, brother, is you're going to get done 60 hours pouring asphalt in this madhouse summer heat, and then you got to go drive Uber, man. Y'all just don't have enough money.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And bro, I've had 2 kids. I haven't had 3. I can hear how tired you are, but I've never even personally experienced this. I wouldn't wish that on anybody working asphalt out in the summer to have to go drive. But man, y'all got to have some more money.
When does this HVAC thing turn around for you? When do you expect to be making that salary, that hourly?
So starting out with them, I'd be making $24 an hour. And 2 nights a week for 5 years, I'd be going to school. So as soon as probably in about 5 years.
It's 5 years? This is a 5-year turnaround?
Yeah, so about 5 years, I'll be making close to $40 an hour.
Okay, we gotta do something sooner than that.
You can't hold on for 5 years.
Yeah.
Man.
What's your living situation? Are you in a renting? Are you in a house? Tell us more.
Yeah, I'm renting right now.
Okay.
My wife talks about buying a house, but
you're not near it. You're not near that.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's exactly what I told her.
You're between a rock and a hard place, and the only thing that's going to change this is not something you can cut away at a budget. Although we're going to make sure you have a budget before you leave here, we got to find ways to get the income up. And unfortunately, I think some of it lies with you, but I think your wife holds a key in this as well. I think there's something she can do part-time, on the side, at nights. You guys have to look at your schedule, and you're playing a game of chess to find out when there's hours that you can do something, whether it's from home, whether it's getting in your car and driving around and she brings the kids with her to do the delivery. But you've got to get creative. There's not going to be anything fun about this, but you are going to find margin. This is The Ramsey Show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
From the Ramsey Network, it's The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is Dr. John Deloney. We're taking your calls about your life and money, so give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225, and we will take our best shot at giving you our advice, what we would do if we were in your shoes. That's how you have to filter this. You're grown, but we're telling you what we would do, okay? So we're going to go straight to these phone lines where we've got Jordan. He's in Portland, Oregon. What's going on, Jordan?
Hey.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How can we help?
So I'm trying to think of the question that it was. How can I better budget my money? I feel like I'm in a pickle. I make decent money. In fact, I think I make real good money, and there's really no excuse why I should be broke.
Well, what's really good money?
Well, let's see here. Last year, I did about 270, about 280.
Okay.
And the year before that, I did about 330, about 330.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in sales, so I average, like on a bad year, I'll hit 100. My best year, 330, I average about 200.
Okay, great. What can I ask what kind of sales?
So I'm a freight broker. I work in trucking.
Sweet. All right. Is it just you? Do you have a family?
Yeah, wife and 5 kids.
Wow.
That's why you be broke, Jordan. You got lots of mouths to feed, my man.
Yeah, sure. Oh, and my 2 nieces live with us now, too.
Because why not? Why not?
Wow. And so I'm guessing your wife's not working, or is she taking care of the kids? Tell me more.
Yeah, she's a stay-at-home mom. She takes care of the kids and holds down the castle.
Okay, so she's queen of the castle. You're making $280,000. You said, how can I budget my money better? Are you using a budget, or is that something you know you need to start?
Yeah, it's something I know I need to start. I was doing good for a while, and then my buddy mentioned, he said something about, oh yeah, you gotta get this Dave Ramsey book, and I thought he was talking about the chef. I said, no, I don't need to know how to cook. He said, no, not Gordon Ramsay, Dave Ramsey. And he just kind of gave me some insight. I Googled it, and there's like 20 books, and I didn't know where to start. And there was a phone number, so I called it, and someone
James
answered.
picked up? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, someone answered.
And what happened? So what'd you...
So I was doing good for a while. I paid off my cars. I was saving money. Paid off the truck. Paid off the car. Paid off like 80% of all of our credit card debt.
Did you cut up the credit cards?
No, I still have about 5 of them.
Or
Why?
do they have balances?
One of them has, so my wife has an older one that's about 18,000, and I have one that's currently about 10 or 11,000.
Okay. Okay, what else? What other debt do you have?
That's it, though. We sold our house. We just rent.
Oh, gosh, so it was like that. Did you sell your house because it was a drain on you? Or because of another reason?
It was, I ended up getting like this, some kind of loan where it started off at 4%, but then it fluctuated with like the market
adjustable rate.
pricing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you're out of that,
Yeah.
you're renting now. This is a wonderful time for you guys to just hit reset. If I'm you need to pay off these credit cards. You need to cut them up today. If I told you right now, if I said, go get those credit cards and cut them up, would you do it?
Seriously?
Yeah, do it right
100%.
now.
Unless you've given up on your question.
No, you know what? Yes, I would.
Do it right now.
Go get them, bro. John and I, we'll fill the space. Go get those cards.
Oh, my heart's racing right now. Oh my God.
And listen, your heart's racing. I want you to feel that, because that is the security you have outsourced to that stupid piece of plastic. And the power we're trying to give you, as the great Rage Against the Machine said, I want you to take your power back to where you are your own bank. You have an emergency fund sitting in a savings account that if anything happens with you and those 117 children that you have, that you're fine. You got no worries because you're your own bank. But you have put all of your like hopes and dreams and potential, you're going to bail me out on Visa, man. And they don't deserve that role in your life.
That's so true. Do you have any cash
ready to do
laying
it?
around?
Oh, my bad. We asked 2 questions. You got any cash?
I have about 900 in checking and 1,100 in savings.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's all you need for right now, because we're going to get you on the track to answer the question that you called in with is, how can I budget my money better? The first step to budgeting your money better is putting your money back in your pocket and stop giving it away in debt payments every month. Stop giving it away to credit card companies. And you go from being a dependent person, a person who's dependent on credit cards, to a person who's independent on the money that they have. So, case in point, you got those bad boys ready?
Yeah, and I thought I had 5. I have 6.
Ooh, even better.
They're having their own babies in there, man. You got a fertile Myrtle house going on there.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell us the name of the card as you're cutting it up, and tell us once it's clipped. Hold it up, say American Express, gone forever. Clip it.
You want to use the card shredder, or I'll use the card shredder. That's safer for my mind. Hold on. I got the card shredder right here.
All right.
Turn this bad boy on.
Turn it on. Crank it up.
All right. Here it is. All right. This one's a U.S. Bank.
Let her go.
Bye, Felicia.
There it is. And then I got 2 Kohl's. Kohl's
Ooh,
right
Kohl's?
there.
Who
Another
needs 'em?
Kohl's. So I got
You got
2 of
enough
them.
khakis, brother. You're good.
Khakis.
No, then I got Freedom Unlimited.
Oh, you're about to find your own freedom. Come on now.
I got Capital One Venture One.
Ooh, what's in your wallet? Money.
And then Capital
own
One
cash.
Venture One Platinum.
Ooh, platinum.
Oh, that one felt good when they mailed you that one. You felt like you was somebody, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Let
you
it
did.
go. Shred them. What else you
Oh
got?
my God, there they are. That's it. That's all 6.
They're all, dude, that's it.
Is that your wife yelling, "What are you doing?"
I need you to
No,
see
that's
there
someone
is
in
a
the office
whole
asking me.
dude, Jordan, there is a whole studio audience of people here at this show. They are cheering for you. They are ripping their shirts off. They are so proud of what you just did because those people know that you just changed your life.
I feel like I'm going to throw up.
I know. Never forget this feeling right here, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Game on?
Damn it. Yeah, game on.
Game on, brother.
Game on.
When's
Hey,
your next paycheck come?
Next Friday, all my bills are due, and I don't think I have.
you're going to make this happen.
You got
You've
it.
got your emergency fund. We're going to give you everything you need when we get off this call. You're going to have every dollar. We're going to hook you up with the coaching that you need. You're going to do everything you need to get on track. We're going to get these bills paid off. We're on it now because the key to getting out of debt is you can't keep creating it. You can't keep depending on it. It can't keep being that security blanket. And when you rip that off, John, you feel it.
That's exactly right. And brother, listen, we're going to get, like she said, we're going to give you Total Money Makeover, the book, for free. We're going to give you a year subscription to every dollar that attaches to your bank so you and your wife can learn to budget together for free. We're going to hook you up with a phone number so you can call a financial coach and you can help you figure out which bills and how to tell this creditor we're going to move this one to over here to help you navigate what's
And they
coming
will
your
pick
way.
up.
And yes, they will pick up when you call. But listen, today is your first step towards being free.
Really free.
Today is your first step to taking back your house. You make $250,000. I want you to feel like it. Proud of you, my brother.
So proud. Few people would do that. This guy's bought in.
Hey guys, here's a quick math refresher. There are only 24 hours in a day. So you and your team need to streamline time-consuming tasks to focus on the activities that actually make money. Smart businesses are realizing that to reduce headaches as they scale, they need NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR into one platform. With NetSuite, you reduce IT costs because NetSuite is cloud-based. You cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems because you've got one source of truth. And you improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. So join the 37,000 plus companies, including Ramsey Solutions, that have done the math and are boosting their efficiency with NetSuite. And right now, download NetSuite's popular KPI checklist designed to drive the right behaviors for your business absolutely free at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey to get your free KPI checklist.
This is Ramsey Network. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is Dr. John Deloney. And Hey, thank you for being here. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're a listener of the show, whether you listen on podcast or YouTube or all the other ways that you can enjoy the show. Thanks for being here. And if it's really meant something to you, do us a favor if you can, like the show, subscribe to the show, but more importantly, man, share the show. If you share this with other people, it's a wildfire. It can't be stopped. And that's something that you can do for free, and it helps everybody involved. So if you wouldn't mind it, we would love it if you did that. Ramsey Show question of the day.
All right, today's question comes from Bethany in Alabama. I homeschool and I also have 2 work-from-home jobs. My husband is a Christian and works in a Christian environment. That's usually how they set it up,
Man,
Jade.
something bad's about to happen.
I know. But he goes back and forth between saving and overspending. He makes twice as much as I do, but he's currently in spending mode. Man, that's a nice way to put that. I've had to use my savings to pay bills since he spent so much. The last time we talked about it, he said that due to inflation, it's impossible for him to spend less. He even said that the problem is my fault for staying home and not making as much money as he does. He constantly wants to keep up with his coworkers as far as toys. They think it's nonsense to save a lot, as we should be, as we should be trusting God. And God doesn't require over-sacrifice. Don't even know what that means. How do we get out of this mess?
Wow, I'm reeling from that. Okay. The thing that's clear here is you guys aren't on the same page about anything as it relates to truly. Honestly, it sounds like how you're raising your family and how you're handling your money.
And y'all go to a church with strange doctrine.
Yeah, very strange. Yeah, we're taking some things out of context there, but that's another conversation. It sounds like there's some animosity there. He's feeling some type of way about you staying home with these kids and raising them as homeschool.
I think it's deeper. I think it sounds like he is a toddler with a salary, and he thinks he gets to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants.
Yeah.
And if she has a problem with it, then she can just go fix it herself.
True. Yeah. But I'm like, when you throw out, listen, let's be real. You're married, I'm married. You get in the heat of an argument. There might be something you throw out that is off base, right? Like, you shouldn't have said that. But when you say certain things that are kind of like out of the blue, it's like, wow, you really have a problem with that. Otherwise, why would you just even up and say that?
There you go.
And I'm like, the fact that he's saying it's your fault for staying home, not it's your fault. I mean, it would really help if you could make more money. But if you say staying home, you're indicating that you don't think she's doing much while she's at home. And she's not making enough money either. So that's problem number 1. You guys need to get on the same page. Number 2 is now he's over here saying it's impossible for him to spend less.
That is bullcrap on a stick in a box. That's just not true. Mm-hmm. Like a few years ago, I went on a guitar buying binge. You know what I haven't bought in years? Guitars. I'm just trying to think of toys because I've got to spend money on other things that are more important.
That's true.
Right? Things got expensive. We even cut out bacon. For God's sakes, the Deloney's cut out bacon. It's expensive.
Well, there's another side to that where it could be that he's okay. Let me play the other side of that, which is some people just they're such tightwads, and it's like, you want me to cut back even more? There's nothing left to cut. And I don't know if that's the situation here. It could be what John is saying. It could be what I'm saying.
Well, she's saying he's buying so much toys and that she's having to pay his bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because he's spending so much.
Yeah, it's not good. She said, I think it's nonsense to save. He thinks it's nonsense to save and that we should be trusting God. So now we're to the third question. The third problem, which is you guys have, it's even like went into your spirituality of like how you believe and what what this means and what this doesn't mean. What do you recommend, John? I put you on the spot. I'm like, I'm gonna roll this to you.
Well, I mean, it's like they got a faith-based budget, which means we're just gonna spend and hopefully God will pay the bills, and that just doesn't work. It's just not life. And so, I guess Bethany, what I would tell you is this: your marriage is in way more trouble than you're willing to admit. It's in a mess, and your husband is using. You're staying at home. Your husband is using theology. Your husband is using everything to avoid the responsibility of being an adult husband and father. He's acting like a child. And I'm confident that there's this other side to the story, that if he was telling his side,
that's right,
that Bethany, your hands aren't clean in this either. Mm-hmm. Y'all have to sit down with somebody, and the conversation has to begin with, I don't think our marriage is going to make it unless we Control, Alt, Delete, and build a new marriage from the ground up. Ready, go.
Yeah.
Short of that, you're not going to fix it over here and solve this, because you're going to play whack-a-mole. And if he's listening to his buddies like this more than he's listening to a wife who's homeschooling, working 2 jobs, and saying, please help, your marriage it's on real shaky ground.
Yeah. This is
not good.
This is not good. It reminds me of a joke. I don't know if I can tell it.
Let it rip.
All right, there's this joke. I'm not going to tell this well, but it's basically
Joe, put your finger on the dump button, buddy.
Like, there's a guy and he's on a stranded on an island, and he's like, he sees an airplane go by, but he doesn't signal it. He says, God will save me. And then he sees a boat go by and he doesn't signal it. He says, God will save me. And then like one other thing comes by. He's like, it's okay, God will save me. And he dies on the island. And when he gets to heaven, he's like, God, why didn't you save me? And he's like, bro, I sent you an airplane. I sent you a boat. I sent you a guy to come get you, and you said no to all of it. So anyway.
And listen, if you're if you're buying toys, and I'm sure that's 4-wheelers, guns, guitars, grills, whatever those are purchases that you need to sit down and talk through with your spouse. And if you're having to pull from savings to overpay bills, you don't have enough money to just have said, hey, you buy whatever you want, I'll buy whatever I want. And if you're a husband, and this, I'm just using that because it's here, but it includes wives too. If you think I don't have to ask anybody because this is my house, then you do not have a marriage.
No.
You don't have a marriage. You're not building something together to move everybody forward. You're a selfish child. You've got to work together to build a future. Wow. And man, Bethany, we'll be thinking about you, man. This is a tough one. Tough one.
Whew, that is tough. Thank you for the question. Speaking of questions, let's take another social question. I've got one here. Okay. This one is Karen from Instagram, and she says, the economy really has me nervous. I know the stocks I have through work are down, and I want to save as much as I can. I was wondering if it would be better to keep money in the bank or credit union. I see videos saying that the banks are going to crash, and it really scares me. I don't have a whole lot of money, but it's mine. With the cost of everything going up, my anxiety is crazy. What do you say to that?
I say, what do you say, what do you say, Jade?
I say, one thing about the stock market is it's a roller coaster. You ride it when it's up, you ride it when it's down. And the way we talk about it here is really the idea of dollar cost averaging. No matter what, you're putting aside, whatever that percentage is every month, especially if you're out of debt and you have, your emergency savings. You're doing 15% every single month, no matter what. If things are going up, if things are going down over time, that averages out. And you can look back on a 20-year track record, 30-year track record of the S&P 500, and you'll see there are times in economic, disheaval or whatever, where it goes down, or if there's a war or something crazy happens, the Great Recession, but then it pops up and usually goes like never before. And so there's really nothing to fear other than the moment. Like in the moment, you're like, oh my gosh. But that's why we say when you invest, listen, this is not like your normal bank account. You don't need to be checking that every single day. You'll drive yourself nuts because somebody could hiccup. Joe Biden hiccups and all of a sudden something happens. You know what I'm saying? So don't check it every single day.
I just got a note from my SmartVestor Pro.
What do you say?
The S&P 500 had its best May since 2009. So here's the deal. There's always going to be wars and rumors of wars.
That's
and there's
right.
always going to be people telling you it's all coming down and it's all, wow.
Yeah.
As for me and my house, Karen, I've got money in a high yield savings account because cash makes me feel a little bit safe. I also have money in my investments in my mutual funds.
Yeah,
I don't have money in stocks because I'm not better than the super AI computers that they're using to trade those things. I can't win that game, and you can't either. So have a little bit of cash, have an emergency fund, and then put the rest in. Mm-hmm. And listen, if all the banks go under, you're going to have way bigger fish to fry, sister. So
right.
Just, whew.
That's so true. If all the banks go out, I need I need cans of beans.
That's right.
I need batteries.
That's right. You need wood for fire. Like it's, yes, we're good.
This is The Ramsey Show.
I've been doing this show for over 30 years, and some of the saddest calls I have taken are from situations that are completely preventable.
Yeah, and what's so hard is I feel like one of those, especially the ones that I'm like, oh, it's terrible, are people that call in and their spouse has passed away suddenly and they don't have life insurance. We actually took a question of a lady, and she had 3 kids, pregnant, and husband didn't have life insurance. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. Or even if it was opposite, right? If a mom passed away, there's a dad with kids and trying to figure out, how am I going to afford childcare? How do I outsource some stuff that maybe she was doing? And it just takes the grief and the sadness of something like a sudden death to a whole new level. Like when you have to think through, how am I going to pay my bills?
How am I going to eat next week?
Yeah, in the middle of all that grief. Like it's terrible. And so life insurance is the one thing, especially as a mom with 3 little kids, that I'm like so big on for people to get because it's inexpensive. Xander is the place that Winston and I actually get all of our life insurance. And we keep re-upping it because I'm like, I just want it there. Like there's something about that safety of knowing that you have money if something suddenly happens.
And it doesn't cost much because Xander shops among a gazillion different companies. It doesn't cost much. You just have to admit that someday you're not going to be here. You got to say it out loud, and you got to say, I'm going to say I love you to my family by taking care of them and taking the time to put this stuff in place. It costs us stinking pizza.
It really is. So that is one thing to do, to say I love you to your family.
So we've used Xander for all of our family's needs for insurance for many years, including, of course, term life insurance. To get a free quote, go to 800-356-4282. That's 800-356-4282, or go to Xander.com.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Jade Warshaw, joined by Dr. John Deloney. We're taking calls all hour long. 888-825-5225 is the number to call if you want to get involved, and we hope that you do. We're going to New York, where we've got Harrison on the line. What's going on, Harrison?
Hi, Jaden and John. How are you guys today?
Excelente.
Great. Well, my question is about a whole life insurance policy and if I should take the cash surrender value and use it for a partial down payment on a condo.
Yes. Yes, for cashing out the whole life policy. We'll talk more about the condo. How much is the cash out?
The cash surrender value is about $50K right now.
Okay. Do you already have term life insurance in place?
I do not, but I do not have any dependents, so I didn't know necessarily if that was needed.
Right now you don't. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Yeah. Right now you don't, but down the line there's going to be somebody who depends on you, is my guess. Do you want a family one day?
Yeah, someday I'd like a family.
Yeah, I think it's worth it for you to lock in now at a great rate. I mean, you're young, you're healthy, lock into a 15-year or 20-year deal term. Okay. And you'll pay like $12, it's $12 a month. It's so cheap. It's maybe not that, but it's super duper cheap. And you can get 10 to 12 times, your income, and you can name a beneficiary on there for now. And then as that changes, as you develop and have a family, you can change that. But I'm definitely doing that. But I'm going to make sure I have the term life in place first, and then I'm going to cancel out this whole life policy, get my $50,000. Let's talk more about this home situation. What are you trying to buy?
Yeah, so right now I'm renting, and I'm just looking to kind of move into a condo instead of the apartment I'm in. Mm-hmm. So at the moment, my price range is about $250,000 because that's kind of what I think I can afford.
That's awesome, and I love that you're telling people that there's things you can buy for $250,000. How many bedrooms is it?
It's going to be a 1-bedroom.
Okay.
It won't be overly glamorous.
I mean, you're
that's
in New
all
York.
I'm in right now. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Is there any debt? Tell us more about your financial picture. Do you have debt? Do you have other money saved?
So I have no debt at all. And currently I'm making about $70,000.
Okay.
And I've got, with this $50,000, it would be almost $100,000 saved up.
Nice. And now that $100,000 that you have saved, over here, we like people to have 3 to 6 months of basic expenses before they start saving an additional down payment. So would you say that, is that $100,000, or is that other money that you have, does that also make up your 3 to 6 months of expenses?
Yeah, I should have clarified. That is on top of my emergency fund.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so great. What do you have as your emergency fund?
I have about $15K right now as my emergency fund.
Okay, so what does that get you? 3-4 months?
It's like 3 to 4, yeah.
Okay,
kind of right
great.
in the middle there.
Excellent. So you got $100,000 to put down on this property. So you're putting almost half down, which is really sweet.
Yeah, that was my goal. That's the only way I can get the monthly payment within that 25% of your take-home range. So that was my goal, to try to get to that $100,000.
Dude, you're rocking it. I have no complaints. I have nothing to say other than why did you take out whole life to begin with?
Well, so that's actually where I think Dr. John might be able to help, because this policy was taken out for me when I was born. It was something a financial advisor told my parents to do, and they've been paying into it ever since then. But now that it's coming on to me to start paying it, it just doesn't make sense to me because of the rate of return is so poor.
Yeah, I'm glad you see that.
But the problem is, like, my parents kind of treat it as this, like, sacred cow, and I don't know how to get rid of it without making them upset.
Just go make fajitas, man. Like, here's the deal. Like, you just choose guilt over resentment, brother. And this is going to be step one of a number of issues over the course of your adult life where you and your parents diverge. It might be who you vote for. It might be on whether one of your kids should play sports. There's just going to be these debates, whether they should bring their dog over to your house for the holidays and you don't want their dog, whatever. You got to do what you know, to be right, and especially what's right for you. It's not dishonoring. It's not it's not disrespectful. It's your policy. They handed it to you. And what a cool thing. Here's $50,000. Here you go. I wish they'd invested it and they were able to give you $100,000, but here's where we are. And so the next right thing is I'm going to buy a house, and I'm going to take this money and apply it to my home. Thank you all so much. And if they want to fight you on it, you tell them, I'm not going to fight you. Guys, I'm not going to fight you. I love you and I respect you, and I'm doing the next best right thing for me. And here's the deal. Choose guilt over resentment. If you don't, you keep paying into this thing that you know isn't a good use of your money, that keeps you from moving into this house just to make them happy. Over time, every time they call you, you're going to get annoyed. Every time you get a text, you're going to go, ugh. Every time your mom calls, and they don't deserve that. It's not fair to them. Mm-hmm. That's because you didn't put up a boundary.
Can I add one in?
Yeah, go for it.
If you think that they're going to act a fool over this, give it back.
That's fair. Yeah, they've given it to me, so I don't think they're going to act a fool over it.
You do. You think they're going to?
There's going to be some pushback, I'd say. But
if you think it's enough that it has the ability to mess up Thanksgiving, give it back.
Okay. Sounds good. That makes sense.
Fair enough.
And rent.
There you go. Ooh, I love that call. Thanks for the call. Listen, he's doing everything right, and it's really hard when mom and dad, it's just hard when you know something and your mom and dad are older than you, they think they know something. And I'm like, his path is working out for him really, really well. And they invested into something that had a really poor rate of return. Like, he's right. So,
but he's about to get a house. But you said something that was real important that I want to double click on. Sometimes people give gifts as a way to try to control you. Mm-hmm. And especially when parents aren't, when that transition, I'm not looking forward to it. When you shift from, I can tell you what to do, to, I'm going to walk alongside you, right? And I'm going to try, I might try to influence you, but you're a grown up and I raised you the best I could and you get to make your own choices. Sometimes we'll say, let me help you with that down payment of your first house, or let me buy you that first car.
Yeah.
And it's going to come with some strings to it, because that's the next way I can control you. I can just be overly generous, right? And there comes a moment when, is that $50,000? Would that be nice? Yes.
Absolutely.
Is it worth losing my relationship with my parents? Nope.
But the moment, I don't think he will get to this, but the moment he would get to saying, you know what, mom and dad, thanks for the gift, but I'm going to give it, that's got to cause them, if it doesn't cause them to look inward and go, what is happening? Like, why? I mean, that holds up a mirror. It's like, like, remember Beauty and the Beast? He had the mirror and he could see what was going on. Like, it holds up the mirror that you have to go, what am I doing that would cause my child to give me back $50,000? Yep.
You entitled brat. And if I want to respond like a child, then your kid was right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Woo.
Good on him.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he'll work it out. I don't think he has to give it back. But All right, let's see. Let's go into Justine, who is in Sacramento. Oh, I don't think I can make it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that to her. We'll take her the next time. I'm going to ask this question. All right. Teresa says, I've been gazelle intense for so long. How do I spend money again? My husband and I are on baby step 7, and we're struggling psychologically to spend small amounts of money for myself, even when it's in the budget. But I want more of what I want than I need, such as home decor, clothes. So they've been gazelle intense for a long time. She doesn't know how to get herself.
It's going to sound cheesy. And for people who are struggling with baby step 1, this sounds nuts, right? Because but it's a true thing, and it happens. We get this call a lot.
Yeah.
The first thing is you're going to practice. You're going to put money in the budget that you promise yourself you're going to spend, even if it's a little thing. The second thing, and this is what I had to do, this is just me being vulnerable here. I matched it. I'm going to give this money away the same amount that I'm going to spend on myself. And it'll let me exhale, right? It let me exhale. I'm going to buy this guitar, but I'm going to figure out a way to give this much money away. Okay, now we can. And it was just this weird psychological game I played with myself, but it was my way of practicing. We're not running for our lives anymore.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
I like that. It's kind of like the opposite. Some people say you really know you can afford something if you can buy it twice. Have you heard people say that?
No.
It doesn't shake. Like, let's be honest, it doesn't hold up. But that kind of reminds me of that. Like, you're matching it with something to prove that, hey, this is fine. I gave a little, I spent a little. And then, they're saving a little too. There's 3 things you do with money: give, save, and spend. And as long as you're doing those 3 things in the proper ratios, you're in the clear. This is The Ramsey Show.
Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to ChurchillMortgage.com to get started.
All right. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Thanks for being here. I'm Jade Warshaw. Next to me is Dr. John Deloney. If you want to get involved in the conversation, you can do that. Give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225, and we'll get you in the mix. Hey, if you're selling a house or if you're buying a house, let me tell you a little something. We want you to do that the Ramsey way. All right. When you do it the Ramsey way, it makes home ownership a blessing instead of a burden. And so we've got this Ramsey Trusted program, which is really the only way that you're going to be able to find an agent that you can trust to keep you on track with what we teach here at Ramsey, so that you can get the best offer on your house or find the best home for you. So what we do is we send you some of the top agents that are in your area. These are agents that we trust. You get to review their stats. You get to interview them. You get to decide ultimately which one that you're going to work with. And so the Ramsey Trusted agents, these are folks with years and years of experience. They're going to help you make wise decisions when it comes to pricing, when it comes to marketing, making, and even choosing the best offer if you're selling a home. So we want you to go to RamseySolutions.com/agent in order to find a free Ramsey Trusted real estate agent for you. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com/agent. We'll get the job done. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got Justine. She's in Sacramento, California. What's going on, Justine?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I have a question about retirement.
Cool.
I am full-time working and putting into a state retirement system. My husband retired at 50 and is getting his pension, about $80,000, but now is employed in a second career. We just found out in April when we filed our taxes that we make too much money to contribute to Roth IRAs.
Yeah.
So my question is do we go to a traditional IRA or do we just go to a brokerage account since he's already receiving his retirement?
You could do a backdoor Roth IRA if you wanted to. You could work with one of our SmartVestor pros to make that happen. It kind of sounds shifty because you say backdoor, but it's not. It's just basically the idea of you putting the money into a traditional and immediately rolling it over into a Roth IRA. So it'd be nice to work with somebody in order to do that. But I always say work with a SmartVestor Pro because at this stage, for you, you might be looking into other bridge accounts that you want to be able to access ahead of time in case, you know what I'm saying? Your husband has the pension, but if you want money there that's aside from retirement, if you decide to retire early. So I would work with a pro for that reason alone. Do you know what I'm saying when I say it like that? Does that make sense for you?
Yes. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I just didn't know since he was already getting his pension, and mine's going to be a guaranteed pension. I hope it's a teacher's pension when the time comes. And so how we continue, because he's 50 and I'm 49, or 52 and 49, so we still got a long ways ahead of us. So we still need, to make sure we're comfortable and everything as we move through our second half of our life.
Absolutely. Do you have any money set aside in IRAs or old 401ks or anything like that?
Yes, we've been doing Roth IRAs for years alongside, but this is the first year, I think, between his pension and his new job. The salaries just outpaced what we needed, and so this will be the first year that we cannot contribute to the Roth IRAs.
Great problem to have. Hey, well done.
It is.
I'm happy for you guys. Yeah. So you can do, like I said, you can do that backdoor Roth IRA, but get with someone just to make sure that that's the next step in your, wealth building journey. Because like I said, you guys are further along. I'm not sure how much you have. It might be good to do that. It might be good to split it, and do some other things as well. So I would do that. Thanks for the call. I love it. If you're doing really well, and you find that you can retire early, it's nice to have a bridge account that you can get into that you're not going to have any penalty for if you haven't reached 59 and a half yet.
Yeah. And I always want to caution people this kind of obsession with let's just retire. Go towards something.
Oh yeah.
Don't cross the finish line just to say I quit. Go towards, I'm going to begin to do these next things. I'm going to learn these hobbies. I'm going to travel. I'm going to visit people. Have a thing that you're going to do that's going to give you purpose and meaning and a reason to wake up every day, because doing nothing, man, that's not all it's cracked up to be. Psychologically, emotionally, physically, everything falls off a cliff if you're not working towards something.
Yeah, it's like social, I don't know, like what is it called when you're atrophy?
Yeah.
It's like atrophy. It's like you're not using your brain, you're not using your body, you're not doing the things you always used to do. Like that can't be healthy for you.
Yeah, and there was a movement for a while. Like let's all retire at 28 or 30, whatever. And some of the feedback was I hung out with my friends on the weekends and I want to do that all the time. And then I retired. Oh, dude, all my friends work all the time because they still have jobs. And so it's not what you think it's going to feel. It's not going to feel like you think it's going to feel.
Yeah.
Like. And so just be prepared for that. But I always want to encourage people to go towards something.
Yeah.
Even if it's volunteering, serving, whatever it is, go towards a thing. Don't just get to this finish line like, I don't have to do it anymore. Because your body will go cool. We're quit.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm like, you have half your life left.
Yeah.
If you retire at 60 or 59, you have literally half of your life to go. Like, I don't know. I choose to live to 100, so I don't know about the rest of you guys.
I've got some miles on my body. I will not make it that long. But
you don't want to live to 100, John?
There's 0% chance that happens.
Don't say that. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got Josue, who's in Los Angeles, California. What's going on, Josue?
Hi, thank you all so much for taking my call.
You bet.
I've been trying to get on the call for a week now, so I'm glad you guys answered.
Yay!
I have a question. So I got a potential opportunity for employment, but it is across the country. I'm asking to relocate. They're asking me to relocate over to Louisville, Kentucky, from Los Angeles, and it is a significant pay bump. So my question is if it's worth doing the jump to go and relocate for the money and, potentially giving up a company that has really good culture and, has been such a pivotal organization for me in my development as a leader.
Is it the same type of work?
Yes, it's similar. So it's still managing a team of parking attendants. However, this is going to be more in the hospitality industry rather than the commercial industry.
Is the culture you're moving into a terrible culture?
I am not sure of the culture. I try to make as many connections with people, and I get a lot of mixed reviews. Some people say that they hate it, that the leadership doesn't support them as much. And other people say that, leadership is great and, just make sure that you have good relationships with your clients and that you'll be fine. Other people feel meh about it. So
are you a leader that's moving into are you moving into a leadership role?
I'm currently a leader here at my current company, and it'd be kind of like a lateral move, just more pay, basically.
How much more pay?
So I'm currently making $30 an hour, which roughly comes out to $62,000 per year. They're offering $85,000 a year with a $5,000 incentive for relocation.
Not to mention probably a decrease in state income tax, probably a decrease in cost of living. Fair?
Oh, yeah.
The cost of living is a huge one, yeah.
Have you been to Kentucky before?
No, so I've only been to Tennessee. I've never been to Kentucky, so I'm not sure what to expect. But I did do a little bit of time in military contracting, so I did move around a bit, which is, relocating isn't an issue for me. It's just...
Are you married?
My concern is, nope.
Dude, I'd hop on a plane and fly out here, shake people's hands.
Yeah.
It's a $500 Southwest flight. That'd definitely be worth it.
Yeah.
And yes, I moved across the country. Jade moved across the country for a better opportunity for our families. And we had to leave some stuff, and we gained some stuff.
But I know I did, and I'm sure you did too. I dug deep on the culture. I dug deep. I knew I was coming from South Florida to Nashville. I'd been to Nashville. I'd lived in Nashville before, so I knew what I was getting into. And so I think for you, I can tell you off the bat, culturally, it's going to be totally different if you go from California to Kentucky. But if you're up for it, great. It might be worth the money to you. But I agree with John. Get out here, see what it's like, see if you like the folks, see if you like the culture there, and spend more than a day, try to spend a couple of days and really get into it.
If I was in your world, you know what I would do? I would come out here and rent a car and go use the service of the team you would technically be leading.
Ooh, I like that.
I thought about that, but I have to make a decision today whether I'm taking it or putting in my 2 weeks notice.
Oh, shoot. Well, good luck to you.
Welcome to Kentucky, my man. Welcome to Kentucky.
Yeah, at this point, try it. Listen, you can always go back.
Yes, and you're going to have to get in line of all the people leaving Los Angeles to move to Nashville or Louisville. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to, there's some traffic this away, but yeah, we'll see you soon. Hey, come out to Louisville and then come visit us in Nashville. It's just a hop, skipping away.
All right, Josue. We'll see you on the flip side. Can't wait to see which you decide. This is The Ramsey Show.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
From the Ramsey Network, it's The Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life, your money. We help you build wealth, do work that you love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. Your other host for the hour is Dr. John Deloney. We're going to get into it. Going to get involved with questions about your life and your money. So you can call us. The number is 888-825-5225, and we'll give you our best advice. All right, we've got some folks on the line. We've got Bridget from Indianapolis, Indiana. What's going on, Bridget?
Hi, how are you guys?
Great.
Okay, so my question is, I inherited some gold from my grandpa. It's worth about $13,000, and I wasn't sure if I should cash in the gold and invest the money into retirement or just keep the gold and let that grow.
If you're keeping it for like a future investment, I would sell it today. If you're keeping it because your grandpa, it was like a cool sentimental thing, it's like a really nice, awesome thing that is going to be generational and you don't want to sell it, then I would hang on to it.
Okay. Got it. And then
let's do this. Take gold away and pretend he left you a, I don't know,
watch.
1971 Les Paul Deluxe, where he'd put P90s in it. Not that I'm saying that's what I want, but I kind of want that. And could that go up in value? Yeah, it could. But it's a cool guitar, and it's Grandpa's guitar. So I might keep that. But if I don't play guitar and I don't really care, I might sell it, right? It's kind of like that.
Okay, so if you're looking for a purely investment standpoint, the selling it and investing it is definitely better.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Got it.
Love the call. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I agree, John. That's very, very good. All right, let's take another one. We got Jessica. She's in Columbus, Ohio. What's going on, Jessica?
Hey there, guys. How's it going?
Great. How can we help today?
All right. So just a quick little layout of where I'm at. I am divorced, and I am, after the divorce, moved in with my parents due to health issues and then the divorce and everything. So I am currently on disability, excuse me, and I have a lump sum of money in my account, and I'm trying to decide. I am in baby step 3, I believe, because I have no debt or anything like that. I have my emergency fund for 6 months, and then I have this other money. And I would like to do something to be growing it. I do have it all in a high-yield savings account, but I would like to not be in step 3 forever, but also being on a fixed income with disability. I live, penny to penny. So I'm trying to figure out, what's the best thing to do with this extra money? Because I don't have retirement. I don't have, I can't do a Roth IRA since it's not earned.
Right.
So just trying to figure out how I can, set myself up for the future with being on such a tight monthly budget, but while having this money that's just sitting there.
Let me ask 2 quick questions, and then Jade, you can hop on the money. Jessica, how fresh is this divorce?
About a little more than 2 years.
Okay, so this is 24 months. What's the nature of your disability?
I'm not able to work at all right now, but it's kind of it's an 18-month thing. We'll revisit. So it's not for sure if I'll be on the disability income long-term or temporary.
What's the nature of the disability?
Do I have to open that can of worms?
No, that's fine.
I'd rather not.
It does play into an ability to if you think you're never going to be able to work again and you're going to be living with your parents indefinitely for the rest of your life, that's gonna be one trajectory. If you're in the middle of
I will say it's kind of it'll take a miracle from God, but I hold hope for that.
Okay.
But I don't see a reason not living with my parents at this point, because I would just be alone anyways. We kind of enjoy being together. But that also being said, their finances are not the most super stable, so it makes me extra I need to have mine as good as possible.
Okay.
Okay. I want to ask another question. I don't want to drill too deeply, but it sounds like you and John understand something that maybe I don't understand. The nature of your disability, is it a physicality, or is it more of
it's health. It's physical health.
Okay. My question and my slight pushback on that is going to be, whenever people call on the show and they're lucid and they're energetic, I'm there's something you can do. Maybe it's something where you're working from the phone lines. Maybe it's something where you're doing a lot different of a type of work than what you were doing before. So I just want you to keep your mind open for that.
Yeah. And I have tried things, but there's there's issues that have made it not. And that's why I actually got my disability ruled, because there was they even felt confident there really wasn't anything I could stay consistent at this time and actually be dependable for.
Yeah. Okay.
That is enough for me to actually make significant funds off of.
Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the baby steps. So baby step 3, you mentioned that you already had 6 months of emergency funds. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so technically you're on your baby step 4. So that would be investing 15% of your income. So what are you receiving for disability every month? What do you get?
It's $1,165.
$1,165?
Yes.
A month?
I'm sorry. What? $1,165 a month. Yes.
Okay, I gotta push back again. With the disability, you're telling me there's nothing that you would do that you could do even on the side to make more than $1,100 a month? I'm just pushing.
Yeah, no, not at this time.
Okay.
No, not at this time.
But maybe later on down the road.
I mean, I'm hopeful for it.
Okay.
But I'm not there right now.
How did they calculate such a low return?
It's based off of how many years I worked paying into Social Security, to my understanding.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you're on baby step 4. What's the lump sum that you have that you're looking to invest?
I have like 12,000.
Mm-hmm.
That I could, like, I have more than that in my account, but if I subtract all the things, like I have my buckets for my high yield savings.
That's right.
So, like, the bucket that has just, like, here's a chunk of money is 12,000.
So what I would say is keep the 6 months of expenses in the high yield savings account, and anything above and beyond that, if that's $12,000, for now, you could look into just investing it into a brokerage account and investing it into, great mutual funds. We always say you split them over 4 types. And if you wanted to work with a SmartVestor Pro to get you started on that, you 100% could. And again, it's 4 different types: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. And you kind of split it equally amongst those. If you're like, Jade, that's too crazy. Even if you just threw it in an index fund for now until you're ready to explore that kind of next step, I'm fine with that. And I don't know what your expenses are working from home. If there's anything left above that, yeah, I'm investing it, because you don't really have, your baby steps feel a little bit different because your income is so low. Anything you have above, living and whatever obligations you have with your parents, yeah, invest it into that brokerage account. And that's really going to be what you're doing for now. If things change, give us a call back and we'll kind of recalibrate with you and see what that means moving forward. But listen, I hope that in 18 months, when you guys revisit this, I hope that it's a better story for you, and it allows you kind of to get out there and get moving. That's tough, John. That's really tough. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. You know what, John? I have to be honest. I've kind of become a little bit of a nerd when it comes to budgeting. Like, it's like a weird game that I like playing. And I love every month redoing my every dollar budget. There's like the button that you push and it takes last month's budget and puts it to this month's budget, and then you go in there and you make the tweaks. And every once in a while, my husband gets to it before I do, and I'm like, dang it. Because I just like doing that. It's
I was a nerd, and I'm pleased to announce you've far surpassed me. Congratulations, that's awesome.
It's like, or if you're a person who makes lists, and then you love the feeling of being able to put the check next to the list. You're like, Jade, I know nothing about this.
Are you the kind of person who does a thing that was on the list and you write it on the list so that you can mark it through?
100%. I want credit. It didn't happen if I didn't write it down.
You should call my friends at BetterHelp.
Oh my goodness. But if you're like that, even if you're not like that, everybody needs a budget, John. I say all the time, budgets are like toothbrushes. Everyone needs one. Without it, things get ratchet. Let's be honest about that. So the best way to budget is the every dollar budget. It's the best way to make the most of your money. You create it, you stick to it, and that's the plan, right? Every dollar, it's simple. It makes it so simple to plan your spending. You can track your expenses in there, which is the daily habit, right? It's like brushing your teeth. The daily habit with every dollar is every day you go in there and you track your transactions. It's like a little game. It makes you feel like I did something. I won today. And you get to save for what matters most to you. It's all in one easy to use app. It fits right into your lifestyle. And honestly, it fits right into your pocket because the app is on your phone. Or of course, you could use the desktop model if that's what you like. But you can keep a pulse on your spending. You can make progress on your money goals. And you can do all of that with every dollar. Let me say, especially if you're married. If you're married, you need every dollar because it bridges the gap in communication.
That's a nice way to say that. I like to say, I can't hide.
No, you can't hide.
All the things I buy automatically show up on my wife's phone. So here we are.
There you go. And we need that. It's transparency at its finest. So download Every Dollar for free. You can do that in the App Store or on Google Play today. I love it. I love it when it rhymes at the end. All right, let's go to Trent, who's in San Diego, California.
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
You bet. How can we help today?
Hey, so just a little background here. We've had about $138,000 in debt we've paid.
Hey, Trent, do me a favor. Talk directly into your phone, brother.
All right. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes.
All right. So we paid about $52,000 of debt off in the last, basically since February. We're looking to try and speed that up a little bit. So the question today is, we have a car that we're upside down on. It's about $14,000 upside down. We owe about $37,000 on it. We have two other loans, a student loan for about $20,000 and a loan that we took out to put down for a down payment on a house, about $25,000. We have 3 kids under 3, so the car situation has been kind of hard for us. We have one car that's paid off and one that doesn't really suit our needs. It was more something I wanted, and so now we're trying to figure out, do we sell that car? Do we keep it? Kind of how do we proceed? Because we do want to, ultimately, we have 3 boys that are under 3, and we want to have try again, for potentially a girl.
So we're needing like a van or something with a second row of seats. Got you. Okay.
Maybe a Suburban or something like that.
Well, we'll get what you can afford. Okay. So here's the thing. I want to clarify myself. So you said you do have one car that's paid off. What type of vehicle is that?
That's a 4Runner.
A 4Runner.
Toyota 4Runner.
Okay. Yeah. And then you've got this other vehicle that you're upside down on $14,000. What kind of vehicle is that?
It's a Tesla Model 3.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
Trent gets what Trent wants, doesn't he?
Well, I've had a lot of cars, and it's kind of a problem. And so now I'm letting my wife be the voice of reason here, and she's fine with me having it. But it's just at this time it doesn't fit 3 car seats very well.
That's the least of its issues. That's the least of its issues. Yeah. The biggest issue is how it's causing you to be deeply in debt. So again, for clarification for me, you said you had $138,000, but then you said the debt you've paid off. So what is your current debt?
Current debt is $84,000.
Okay, $84,000.
We have about $30,000 in the bank right now that obviously that we owe that $14,000. Do we pay that off and then, buy a different vehicle for me to drive, or do we pay off the smallest debt first and kind of go from there?
No, I think in this case, I would clear that vehicle out, because that's going to, when I think about the debt snowball, the first thing that I'm thinking about is, where can I find money to save to throw at this debt snowball? And so in this case, we are looking at the cars first to say, is there money saved here? Of course there is, because there's a car payment involved. And since you have cash, this is ideal for you, because you could really take the $14,000 and get right side up on this loan and just clear that car out. You net zero on that, and then you've got $16,000 left in savings. And so let's think about what a reasonable amount of that would be to go towards a car that works for your family. And you can decide what that is. I mean, you've got this 4Runner over here. I don't know how old it is, how many seats it has. But for right now, I want you purchasing something for your family as it is, not necessarily for what you think your family will be in the future. Either way, if you get something with a third row of seats, you're going to be fine. But there's nothing that says you have to go out and buy a 2020 vehicle. Right?
Yeah, no, and my wife's car is a 2024, and it fits the car seats, but you can't put it, and it has a third row, but you can't put a car seat in that third row. So that's kind of where we're like, she would upgrade, I would take her car, or not upgrade, but change her vehicle. But I go away for work for multiple days at a time, so it does make it a little bit more challenging, knowing that I want to make sure she has.
When you say she would upgrade, what does that mean? Because we're talking about selling this Tesla and downgrading to something in cash.
I was thinking she would maybe change vehicles down the line, and I would take her vehicle if we saved up enough to pay cash for a vehicle that, was bigger, that could fit more, that could tow.
Got it.
But that's assuming you have a fourth kid down the road. She's not pregnant, is she?
Not yet, no. But it's definitely something that we're within the next year we are looking to do once we have all this.
Okay. How much do you make a year, Trent?
$230.
Okay. This is going to sound crazy, but you're broke.
Okay.
You have an incredible salary.
Yes.
And you owe $84,000. And you shuffle around depreciating assets. And so you make $250,000 and you have dreams of these an $80,000 Suburban for your 4 kids. And dude, I love that dream. It's cool. But I don't think you're grasping the reality that your family right now isn't safe because you owe $84,000. Mm-hmm. And so until you've at least zeroed out, and then you can begin to make some forward progress with your $250,000 salary. See what I'm saying? Like in your head, you make this money and this money keeps coming in and keeps coming in, but you wouldn't be calling us if it wasn't also flying out the back door somewhere.
No, I agree. And that's why I'm here. I definitely, like I said, I see the need to sell the vehicle, and I'd bicycle to work if it made sense. But, it's just one of those things that right now we have that cash, and that's where I'm looking to decide what makes sense to buy. Do I still find something that can fit car seats that I can drive around my kids in, or do I buy something that's...
How often do you drive them around?
Actually quite a lot. I mean, I'll get into my wife's vehicle and drive them, but it's, I'll take them hiking my days off because I'm fortunate that my schedule allows that. When I'm at work, I'm at work, and when I'm home, I get multiple days home in a row with them.
That's good. That's cool.
So
what you do next is going to determine how quickly you want to get out of debt and how quickly you want to get right side up on this situation. You might decide, hey, I'm going to buy a beater, like a complete $8,000 beater. I'm going to drive that. I'm going to put my wife in the 4Runner because it's a little bit better. And that gets you closer to paying off this student loan you have. Then you turn around, you pay off that personal loan you had. And then in the end, you're debt free. And trust me, you'll be able to upgrade car quickly with a $230,000 income and no debt. Hey, you're listening to The Ramsey Show. If you want to give us a call, an unfiltered call about your life and your money, we will take it. The number is 888-825-5225. By the way, my name is Jade. Next to me is Dr. John Deloney, and we're your hosts today. So we are the ones who will give our advice. If you wanted George Camel's advice or Rachel Cruz's advice, you should have called on a different day because sometimes they host, or Ken Coleman or Dave Ramsey. So there you have it. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got Andy in Portland, Oregon. What's going on, Andy?
Hey, guys. Oh, I'm so excited you guys took my phone call today. So I am doing the baby steps with my wife. We just started like a month ago, and I've been super gung-ho about it, and my wife's annoyed with me already. I'm just going to roll through the debts. So we have $10,600 on a car loan. We've got $7,700 on a credit card, and we have $4,600 in student loan debt that we have left to pay off. I have in a savings account $12,000 in cash.
Okay.
I want to take the $12,000 and pay off the car because that will free up a bunch of cash for us to just hammer out the rest of the little debts.
Yeah.
And my wife does not want me to spend that money.
She's scared, right?
Yeah.
What plan number is this?
Exactly.
Meaning,
what's that?
What I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. What plan? Are you a guy that's always got like an idea?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so she's been with you on a bunch of different of your ideas?
Yes.
And so this is just so for you, maybe the light bulb has finally come on, and you see a path to freedom, and you're gung ho, and she sees this as just another one of Andy's things, and she is unwilling to give up the most stable thing in her life, which is $12,000 in a checking account.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't blame her. And so how do you create sturdiness and stability in this relationship with her?
That's a great question.
Andy's like, I wasn't ready for that. I thought you were going to tell me how to pay these debts off.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to pass it over to Jade, but here's what I would tell you. Exactly as I just rolled it out to you, she needs to hear you say that. Mm-hmm. And this is the word that every man I know hates to say out loud, but this is the only path towards healing this type of disconnection, and that's you being vulnerable. And that looks like you taking her out for dinner or taking her out for breakfast, or in your guys' case, because y'all are broke, going out for a walk, and you stopping at a park bench and sitting down and looking across the bench and saying, I've taken you on a bunch of wild goose chases trying to hack my way to safety and security, and I'm sorry because I've given you an unstable partner in this adventure called life. I really want to do my part to help us be safe and be free, and I'm not ever going to wild goose chase you again. And but here's the path forward, and here's the book, and here's the way we're going to navigate this, and I'd love for you to join me here. I'm scared about how I've led this family, and I'm scared about what comes next if we keep owing all this money. Will you join me? And then at that point, maybe she might say, hey, what did you do with Andy, my husband? And she may say, I still don't feel comfortable with it, but at least she sees you recognizing what she now has been experiencing. Can you do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then when the time is right, after you've done what Dr. John just said, then you let her listen to this call. And she hears us say, yeah, you take the $12,000 and you take 10 of it and you pay off the car, and you keep, the $1,000 aside, and you throw the other $1,000 at the student loan, and you knock it out using your income, and you roll through this really quickly, and you're going to have more peace than you've ever had before, because not only are you going to have this debt gone, but you freed up all these monthly payments, and now you can save more money than you've ever had saved, 6 months of expenses, and it just sits in a high yield savings account, just sitting there making you feel all warm and cozy on the inside, right? And then you move on to baby step 4, where you're investing 15% of your income. And so that's how this works. You really came for John's answer, not mine. I think you knew the answer to mine. So,
but here's the big question. Will you do this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
You know your wife better than Jaden and I do. What is she going to say if you sit down and say that to her?
Honestly, she'll probably cry.
Yeah.
Our life's crazy.
Yeah. I want you to start thinking in terms of stability. Or a better way to say this is, let's start solving for peace. Let's don't solve for the get rich. Let's don't solve for the scam. Let's don't solve for the, let's solve for peace. You want to be countercultural and bananas in today's world? I'm going to solve for peace in my house. And there's going to be some tension, because once you get that car paid off and your checking account, your savings account has $1,000 in it, you're going to sleep a little bit shallower. And Jade and I are both going to tell you good, because you should be nervous and scared. And that's going to encourage you to go get some more money, not buy stupid stuff, cut your grocery bill to the bare bones, and you're going to look up in 6 months and y'all are going to owe nobody anything. And you're going to start to exhale for the first time, and you didn't even know how shallow your breathing was. Is that fair?
Yeah.
I want that for your home, brother.
That's totally fair. Thank you very much.
All right, hang on the line. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a peace offering that you can slide across the table, all cool like, okay? I'm going to give you a copy of Building a Non-Anxious Life, and I want y'all to use that as a roadmap in your house. Okay?
Oh, man, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Well, hold on. I'm not done. I'm also going to give you Every Dollar, the best budgeting app on planet Earth. I'm going to give you a year's subscription. I'm going to upgrade it for you. Jade's going to pay for it. I'm not going to, but Jade will. And it's going to be a way to connect to your bank so that you can look her in the eye and say, I'm not going to make a bunch of crazy purchases anymore. When I buy something, it's going to be because we budgeted for it and we planned it, and both of us are going to get notified when this happens. And look at her and say, I'm all in. I'm asking you, will you be all in? Okay?
Okay.
Cool?
That's awesome.
Here's what those things are going to cost you. You got to call us back when you're debt-free in about 6 months. Fair?
Deal. Absolutely.
Done. All right, cool. Stay on the line, brother.
Ooh, what a call. Thank you for that call. You know, John, I think that what he's facing is what a lot of couples face, which is that feeling of you finally found something that you think is going to be the breakthrough moment. And with this plan, it is a watershed moment, right? But you have this wake of all the other things you've done and tried and got buy-in from your spouse that didn't go so well. And so they're seeing a trail of like failed mishaps. And you're like, no, this is the one. This is the one. Like, I think a lot of people needed to hear, like, how do I navigate that conversation? Because this is the sure thing, right? It's like, I don't know. That's just such a...
This plan works 100% of the time.
It works 100% of the time.
And Avon or Tupperware or essential oil, like whatever, all the other, like, hey, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do this.
Quick Star. Yeah.
Right. And so they just don't have that kind of track record. So...
But you have to undo the damage of all that before you can slide this over and say, hey, here's the real one.
And this type of healing will take time, because I'm confident that his wife is going to say, the moment we pay this car off, I'm going to walk through and you're going to be sitting on your laptop looking at cars. I know that's what's going to happen, because you talked me into a truck one time, and you talked me into the new Tesla then another time. And so I think it's a matter of saying, okay, here's how I'm going to change. I'm going to change the way I'm living inside this marriage. Will you join me? And that's a Control-Alt-Delete.
Ooh, it's a big one. But then now the onus is on him to really show a different person going forward. And I have different habits. We're accountable for our habits. So I'm excited for them. I can't wait for them to call in and see how it goes with them. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Our scripture and quote of the day. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. That's 1 Corinthians 15:58. Then we got Sandra Day O'Connor, who said this: do the best you can in every task, no matter how unimportant it may seem at the time. No one learns more about a problem than the person at the bottom. Wow. Love it. Good stuff. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We've got Ronnie in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah. Thank you for taking my call. I have about 4 different collections that are rather huge, large, and I have a problem that my children don't really care too much about them. So I didn't know how the best way, maybe if I wanted to get rid of them. I don't need the money. But I have a coin collection.
Okay.
I have a depression glass collection. I have an extensive record collection, vinyl.
Okay.
And I have a collectible card game collection.
Okay.
So
what's a depression glass, man?
Yeah, I want to know that too.
I think James Childs drinks from a cup like that a lot. What is that?
It's the colored glass from the 20s and 30s that were made, the first mass-produced type glass.
Is it like that green color?
Green, pink,
amber,
cobalt blue, amber, all kinds of. There's elegant glass, which is the same as Depression glass, made during the Depression era, basically made during the 20s and the 30s.
What's your card collections? You into baseball cards?
No, it's not baseball cards. It's you've heard of the game Magic the Gathering?
Oh, Ronnie.
It's not just a game. You collect. Wait a minute. I don't think I realized that you could collect lots of. It's like Pokemon.
Sort of, except it's the very first game to come out like that. And I have an extensive collection of all the early stuff, which is worth a lot.
When you say worth a lot, what do you mean?
I have one card that's worth $100,000.
Whoa! So you need to consign this. You need to go on. Do you watch that show on Netflix, Golden Auctions?
I never really looked at that.
Listen, I would get online today and look
why
at
don't your kids watch it? I don't know what Magic the Gathering is. It sounds intense. But why don't your kids want all of that?
It came out in 1993. It's a collectible card game. I have not only just the cards. You collect the cards and you play a game with them. And so I have all the early first printing of stuff, and I have the first about 6 couple expansion sets. It's still out now. They're still producing cards, very popular around the world.
So why haven't you sold them? I mean,
well, I haven't sold them because I don't really need the money to sell them. So I just want to know maybe if how do you get rid of something like that? At first, I thought, well, I can just go sell them at a card shop, but now a card shop can't even buy what I have, because I got unopened boxes that are worth $10,000.
Have you gotten them rated, professionally?
No, they're not graded, but I know how to grade them and everything, because I've been doing this for a while.
I'd start walking down that path if you know you've got all this.
It's the card I have that's worth a lot is part of a whole set.
Yeah.
And the set is worth $300,000.
That's what I'm saying.
$100,000 card.
But you keep telling us how much it's worth. Who's telling you how much it's worth?
That's just me going online and looking at what they're selling it for. Now I probably couldn't get that much for it.
But who's selling it?
Different car shops around the country, like Troll and Toad and Alpha Beta Unlimited.
But I mean, that means they're buying it, right?
They're buying it and they're selling it. Yes, but.
So I would start there.
Okay.
Or look into these auctions. Look into all sorts of things that you could do,
Yeah. I have a lot of unopened boxes.
Yeah, we understand that, dude. We understand that. What we're saying is take the next step to selling them, which is you vetting out different companies, whether they're just people selling them, and they're just offering you top dollar, or you put it on an auction block and see what you can get for it. Really look into this, because there's a lot of money to be made there. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know a whole lot about the Depression glass. I don't know. Your record collection could be worth a lot. It could be garbage. We really don't know. But until you get it out there,
it's probably worth. I got about 8,000 albums.
Right, but until you get it,
it's worth 80,000.
Until you get it out there, and somebody says, "I will give you this for it," we really don't know. Right. So that's the next step.
And let me tell you this, Ronnie. This is hard to hear. Okay, I've sat with a few older folks with things in their home that they in their head had numbers attached to, and that was they were literally drowning in stuff, and I was trying to help them go through their things. One person was able to just say, the piece is not worth this, and I'm calling it imaginary because you don't have a check in your hand, right? So until you're holding money, it's not real money. But they finally were saying, I want peace in my home. And I left one other elderly person's house. It was heartbreaking. Literally unable to move because of how much the potential this stuff was worth. And I knew it wasn't worth what they were saying was in their mind, but I just couldn't have that. They wouldn't hear it. And so I think you have to ask yourself, if you don't need the money and you like having these collections, I can hear your voice as you're describing this stuff to me and Jade. You like having things that in your mind are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Then just keep them. Your kids will figure out what to do with them when you're gone. If you want to sell them, and that's
actually the Magic cards is what they're probably interested in the most.
Great, cool.
But I have a financial advisor that's saying maybe I ought to sell some of this stuff just to get the money and invest it and stuff like that.
But I don't think you want to sell it. I think he wants to increase his portfolio percentage take. Do you want to sell it?
I don't want to sell it right now, no.
Okay, then don't sell it.
Yes.
Then don't sell it. Because I can tell right now you don't want to sell it, and the reason I know that is you have this this incredible thing.
I'm realistic to know that whatever, like a $100,000 card, I could probably get 50 for it.
Okay. But I'm saying you got the internet. If you want to sell these, you can sell.
Half. Yeah, you're going to get like half of anything that you have as a collection now.
Okay.
The glass, I know dealers that can buy the glass.
But here's what I'm saying. You don't want to sell them, and so that's fine. You don't need the money. You don't want to sell them. That's cool. And again, I know you don't want to sell them because you haven't sold them yet.
That's true.
So when you want to sell them, you got the internet. You can pick up the internet and you can figure out who to sell this stuff to if you need the money, or if you just want to start offloading these things because you want to give your kids cash instead of these things. But if these things still bring you joy, keep these things.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like we were just chasing our tail on that call because it just kept going back to the fact that he has it.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
like, I'm glad that you have it. And listen, if you have Steely Dan's Pretzel Logic, I'll buy that off you because that's hard to find. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah, I'm with John.
Jade, you're officially on friendship probation for being a Steely Dan fan.
What?
Jade, James Childs, you too.
What? Hold on.
I'm still
if you're
bitter
trying
about.
to tell me there's something wrong with Donald Fagen, I don't.
I'm just still bitter about the heavy metal win over Metallica that one time.
It's just because he's not a real musician, Jay. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God. I know, right? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let this roll off. I'm going to act like you never said that, John. And
Ronnie,
I'm
send the
turn
records.
my
Jade
back.
and I will split them up. We'll take care of the records for you.
Yeah, that's right. We'll take care of that. Oh my goodness. That's a good call. Thank you for the call, Ronnie. It is hard to part with things that I don't know. Like there's a reason that people collect things. And a lot of times it doesn't start with financial gain. It starts with a feeling it gives them, or like it's nostalgic. It makes them think of a time. I don't know. So it's hard to part with that.
But I think it's important. Here's two important call outs. Number one, if somebody's leaning on you to start selling it, whether it's your financial advisor or your kids, they want a piece of the action, right? Mm-hmm. If you have realized, or if you're broke and people around you are like, hey, you got to sell some of this stuff to pay your bills, then there's going to come that moment.
Yeah.
But also there's going to come a moment when you collect whatever it is you collect and you're 65, you're 75, and you realize, I can't take this with me, right? And so then you got to ask yourself, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to be charitable with it? Am I going to sell it and give the cash to my kids, or give the cash to a local organization or whatever? Mm-hmm. But at some point, man, this is going to sound awful. At some point, you're no longer here.
That's right.
None of us get out of this thing alive, and none of us can take our magic cards with us, right? Or in James, his quasi-folk music with him, or whatever Steely Dan does.
Well, I'm going to act like you're not saying the things that you're saying right now about Steely Dan.
I don't know enough about Steely Dan.
I want the nations to take to the comments right now and settle this for us once and for all. One of the greatest bands, duos of all time. Walter Becker.
America, this is the first time I've said this on the show, but that's not great advice you just heard.
America will decide. This is The Ramsey Show.